All right, so as I said, we are going to finish this assignment today. This assignment is worth 100 points, is an assessment. And we've done layer 1, which is the white layer connected to the outside. That will remain white, will remain untouched. Our second layer is light gray. Our third layer, which we did last time, is middle gray. And now we're doing layer 4, which is a dark gray. There's a darkest value, which is the value number 5, and that's the holes in the background. Okay, so the only way to have a layer 4 is to show something behind layer 4. And so if you look down in this corner here, and we separate this space with a small curve, this will be my background, and my background will be as dark as I can make it. And you can do this piece by piece, section by section. The smaller your spaces get, the more time I would take in trying to get everything the way it's supposed to be. So this is my background. This black spot right here is my background. That means this is going to be a level 4. And so my level 4, layer 4, is going to be between this dark value here and this number 3 value here. It has to be darker than this and lighter than this. Can you blend your layer, your background layer? Yes, you can. It'll smooth it out a little bit. It will darken it ever so slightly, which may be just what you need to make that separation. So it's pretty close. Your 5 is here, your 4 is here, your 3 is here. There's just enough distinction between 3 and 4 to see a difference. Okay? And if I bring this hole over this way, still using a 2B pencil. Just a light blend on that. And then again, this will be number 4, which is the dark gray. If your 3 and your 4 look too much alike, you either make your 4 darker or you make your 3 lighter. In order to make your 3 lighter, remember you can use your kneadable eraser and just pull a little bit away. And it just takes off a layer of value and should lighten it up just nicely. So the only white on your paper should be layer 1. Okay? The only white on your paper should be layer 1. And everything inside the shapes should have a value 2, 3, 4, or 5. And again, the 5 is the holes in the background that will help us develop our 4th and final layer. So I'm going to jump over here and have a little larger background hole that is going to wrap around and encompass this shape here. So all this here, 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 and here is going to be as dark as I can make it. Remember, you can blend just a little bit and just smooth out those little inconsistencies, pressing with medium pressure. When you blend, if you take a hard edge and make it a little bit softer, just go ahead and redefine that line with your pencil. So this is my number 5 value. My number 4 value will be right next to it. This is my 4th and final layer. I just want to make sure that I continue to push that back into the distance by making it dark enough. It's dark gray. And again, you can blend, but I wouldn't blend by adding too much pressure. Just kind of glaze over the top of it, smooth it out a little bit. Some of these sections are going to be pretty small, so it won't take too long to shade each one, but there will be a few more of them. And so you just got to keep your values consistent and your technique consistent so that the number 5 value stays the same all the way through, so it looks like a unified shape instead of like 3 or 4 different shapes with 3 or 4 different values. Multiple layers, even pressure. Again, redefine those lines between layers if they start to blend away. All right, so this piece right here is still part of the 4th layer. So I'm going to do a dark gray here. And then I've started another hole in the background. And this hole will extend here and go this way. And so this will be black and this will be black. And we'll kind of match the one that I just finished up here. Background hole, this is layer 4. Just got to push that back a little bit by giving it a dark gray value. your last and fourth layer should be surrounded by your other layer. So I have a 1 here, I have a 2 here, I have a 3 here. So it should be pretty easy to gauge your values at this point because you have representatives of all the other values surrounding it. Again, if your 3 and your 4 look too close, you can darken your 4 or lighten your 3. And in order to lighten a value, you just kind of smash your kneadable eraser into a point like that and use the flat side and just drag. And it should lighten it up a little bit. It will lighten it up just a little bit. So this hole continues this way. So this is going to be black down here, and then we'll continue up on this side just a little bit, and this will be black as well. So pick and choose the spots where you're going to put your background. You want to have a few representatives of the background without having it overwhelm your drawing. Medium pressure, multiple layers, gives you the best dark value. Remember that if your dark values start to get shiny, you're pressing too hard. The natural consistency of the graphite, which kind of acts as a lubricant, will get shiny if you just continue to press hard, and we don't want that. Lightening the 3 value a little bit so that it will separate from my 4. This is going to be a 4 value, dark gray all the way through here next to the 5. So again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as I consistently go back towards the background, therefore creating layers with value. All right, I have another hole down here at the bottom. So this will be black. Again, match it with the black that I have over there. It's a small little shape. But just double check yourself. Make sure your values are consistent throughout the piece. Alright, so just kind of double checking, just going over my work. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, 4, and 5. This will also be layer 4 here. I'll probably finish that before I go back this way. Another background hole starting on this side. So I'm going to take this. So if you notice, I'm doing my background first, and I'm making those as dark as I can, because if I have my 3 and my 5, it's a lot easier to find my 4. So I'm not starting with 4 and then moving to 5. I'm starting with my 5 and then jumping back up to 4, because it just helps me find the medium between the two, 3 and 5. And then this here will be all dark gray. Redefine the lines of the layers if they start to disappear. Very important, because you don't want the layers to start to blend into one another. You want them to remain separate so that we can see the depth present in the piece. Alright, so now I can choose which direction to go. I can go back this way, but I think I'm going to probably finish this one over here in the corner and then work my way up slightly. So this is black here, black in here, and then black in here surrounded by a dark gray number 4. So I've been doing a little lightening of my number 3. And again, just use your kneadable eraser, just kind of glaze it over the top with a flat edge. And you should be able to lighten that number 3 if necessary. I just happened to go a little bit too dark the first time around, and that's okay. Easily solvable. Again, this is a number 4 value, dark gray, right next to the black background. All right, so you should start to see now that a little bit more is done, what it's going to look like. Okay. Again, the only white on this page is going to be the very first layer, the one that we did on the very first day. Everything inside these shapes is going to have a 2, 3, 4, or 5 value. The further back you go, the darker the value will be. As you've done it a number of times, the number 4 value should get easier and easier to do without too much guesswork. And I'm applying about 3 or 4 or 5 layers of pencil and then doing a real quick blend over the top. Looking for any light spaces, white spaces in the shapes themselves, because those values have to be there. Okay, so this half is pretty well finished. Now I just got to continue that same process over to the other side. I'm going to have a couple more background holes to do. This is going to continue on this way. I'm going to place one here, background hole, and one down here, and then one here as well. And then that should do it. I should have enough black background holes kind of spread throughout my entire piece to where one side doesn't have so much and the other side doesn't have any. All right, moving into this corner right here, I'll have a background hole that wraps around from this section to this section through here. Probably, well, yeah. I'm going to go down a little bit further here so I can encompass this section here. And again, this is going to be black, this is going to be black, this is going to be black, here, 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 and here.